All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Granite Files, where we have been investigating what the county of Henrico is putting into your drinking water. What are they putting into the drinking water? An unapproved FDA-defined drug. That's right. You heard that correctly. The county is drugging you and your family from cradle to grave. What are they drugging you with? Well, it is a chemical called hydrofluorosilicic acid. Notice how it says danger, poison, do not take internally. The county doesn't care about that. They say that, in their opinion, it is appropriate to dilute this poison and put it into the drinking water without your consent. Why are they doing this? They want to permanently alter your teeth. They want to permanently alter your bones. They want to permanently alter your brain. So when you ingest hydrofluorosilicic acid, the common name for this is fluoride, it alters your teeth and causes a condition called dental fluorosis. You can see here from this image that 58% of those ingesting fluoridated water have very mild dental fluorosis. That's going to be over here. So if your teeth are yellow, it may be because of the water that you are drinking. We have 16% of folks ingesting fluoridated water have questionable dental fluorosis. We've got severe dental fluorosis over here and mild dental fluorosis. So the county wants to permanently alter your teeth. When they are doing this, they are actively causing disfigurement. Yes, they are disfiguring you and your children. And I have asked them to stop this because I do not feel that it is ethical or safe to coerce the public into ingesting this chemical drug. But no, the county, they don't care. They don't care that the FDA has banned fluoride that goes into a glass of water because it damages the brain and body. Yes, the FDA chose to protect children when it comes to the fluoride that goes into a single glass of water, but the FDA years ago abnegated their responsibility when it comes to the fluoride that goes into our public drinking water. Also, we have a federal judge that rules that this poses an unreasonable risk of injury. Why did this judge rule on this? Because he had seen a mountain of evidence over 7 years. The sole purpose was to dive into the science, okay? And after he looked at the science for 7 years, he ruled that this poses an unreasonable risk of injury. But the county doesn't care. They do not care that this diluted poison is permanently altering your body. So that is what we have been investigating. And yesterday, I went ahead and showed you guys Henrico's response to my filing, their demur. And they said in there that you do not have a fundamental right to water service even when you pay your water bill. You do not have a fundamental right to water service when your tax money is going to the water works. And they said they pinky promise that there is a state law that expressly authorizes them to put this chemical drug in the drinking water, but they didn't say what that law was. Yes, that is the dysfunction that is going on in the county of Henrico. But we will table that for a little bit and talk about something fantastic. So, in the town, yes, it's a town called Broadway, Virginia. This is a very small town in Broadway, Virginia. The town voted it's a city, what is it? I believe we'll call them the town council. I can't keep everything straight. We've got board of supervisors, we've got city council members, we've got commissioners, we've got council members. So I believe this is the town council. They voted unanimously to remove fluoride from the drinking water. So great job, Broadway. Let's go ahead and hop over to the meeting minutes to see why they decided to put the kibosh to fluoride in their drinking water. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, everyone, so this is going to be the town of Broadway, and we're going to be looking at the Broadway Town Council meeting minutes here. So let's look at the new business. This is going to be Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. New business. It says Mayor Jordan proceeded to the discussion and consideration of the removal of fluoride from the town's water supply. Mr. Shiflett provided information on what action the town needs to take to stop the process of adding fluoride to the water. The town must inform the health department 90 days prior to stopping the process of putting fluoride in the drinking water. The town must inform water service customers 90 days ahead of time. And the town must notify customers via some other method, such as the newspaper in the town website. Mr. Shiflett recommends starting the process on May 1st so that a notice can be put on the water bills. The message can be printed on July 1st water bills as well. Then, 30 days after that, the town can cease adding fluoride to the water. Mr. Driver commented that currently the fluoride that is being added to the town's water is a chemical and is caustic. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with this word, caustic means that it eats away at concrete. Caustic means that it eats away at metal. Caustic means that if you spill it on your hands, it will eat away at the flesh on your hands and the bones in your hands. For staff to handle, Mayor Jordan commented that he had asked several dentists about fluoride, and they had advised that it only helps children up to age 6. Mrs. Ingesting fluoride only helps children up to the age of 6. But remember, folks, the FDA said that it's unsafe for children to ingest fluoride. So the FDA decided to protect children, and they barred doctors from writing prescriptions for fluoride under the age of 3. The FDA barred doctors from writing fluoride prescriptions for those with mild who are at low risk of tooth decay and at moderate risk of tooth decay. Mrs. Foley commented that fluoride is a chemical. She advised that many families drink bottled water anyway, and that county residents don't have fluoride in their water. Okay, a lot of people are on well water and they don't add fluoride. Ms. Liz Foley then made a motion to stop the process of adding fluoride to the town water and to commence with the steps involved with discontinuing this process. Mr. Travis Driver seconded the motion, which was approved with the following recorded roll call vote, and they all said aye. Great job, Liz Foley, for protecting children. Great job, Tristan Sennett, for protecting children. Great job, Travis Driver, for protecting children. Great job, Douglas Harpine, for protecting children. Great job, Richard Falk, for protecting children. Great job, David L. Jordan, for protecting children. And great job to the mayor. I congratulate the Broadway Town Council for moving in a direction to protect children. All right, so great job, Broadway, Virginia. I am so proud of you for protecting children when it comes to this dangerous contaminant called hydrofluorosilicic acid. Now, really quickly, I would like to touch on the portion that the town council said in regards to keeping the fluoride in the drinking water for 90 days. Okay, Virginia Department of Health has written a Virginia administrative code that says that 90 days prior to discontinuing water fluoridation, you must notify the health commissioner. 90 days prior to discontinuing water fluoridation, you have to notify the public. Now, there's a problem with this because it essentially forces the locality to keep fluoride in the drinking water for 90 days when they don't want it. Okay. Now, the question is, does Virginia Department of Health have the legal authority to force a locality to keep fluoride in the drinking water for that 90-day period? Remember, we have the other Virginia Administrative Code, 12 VAC 5-590-930, that says the board recommends water fluoridation. So, how is it on one side, you can say the board recommends water fluoridation, but then on the other side, when you want to stop it, they're going to force you to keep it into the drinking water for 90 days? I don't think so. When I looked at the meeting minutes regarding this 90-day nonsense, it wasn't about health. It wasn't about protecting the people. What it was about is the health department wanted a heads up, right? Why? In the meeting minutes, I believe the words that they used, they wanted to change hearts and minds. In other words, Virginia Department of Health wanted to call up their cronies, Virginia Health Catalyst, and others in order to nudge the town council into the direction that they desire, i.e. keeping the chemical drug in the drinking water, right? So it's a way to then kind of, bring all these people in and say, do you really want to stop this water fluoridation stuff, right? That's the purpose of it. Now, the way it works in Virginia is in order for Virginia Department of Health to require water fluoridation, the Virginia General Assembly would have had to grant Virginia Department of Health that authority. Is there a law in Virginia that expressly said, yes, Virginia Department of Health, if you want to force a locality to keep fluoride in the drinking water for 90 days, you can go ahead and do that, right? Is there a law that says that? No, there is not a law that says that. So in my opinion, Virginia Department of Health did not possess the legal authority to write this Virginia Administrative Code that forces a locality to put it into the drinking water. And even Virginia Department of Health seems to be on shaky grounds as to whether or not they can actually exercise their authority regarding this 90-day nonsense. Why? Because in that Virginia Administrative Code, it says that you have to notify them 90 days prior to discontinuing, uses the word intent. So 90 days prior to discontinuing the intent, I can't remember specifically. It throws in the word content. I'll post it up here so then you guys can read it. So essentially, the word intent is kind of a funny thing, and they seem to be on shaky grounds. The other area that they seem to be on shaky grounds is in their own meeting minutes years back, they admit that they cannot require a locality to put fluoride in the drinking water because the Virginia General Assembly did not grant them the authority to do this. Right? Now, why do you think that they are doing this, right? Why do you think they wrote that Virginia Administrative Code? Well, if you were to ask them, they would say because we can. In other words, our government, it appears, in my opinion, that what our government does is they break laws, they intentionally break laws, and they continue to commit these illegal acts until somebody forces them to stop, right? They say, we're going to commit a crime and we're going to keep doing it until somebody forces us to stop, right? And in some situations, they know going into it that they're breaking the law, and they just know that they're just going to try to get away with it as long as possible. That's the way this entire water fluoridation scheme comes across to me, in my opinion, based on my research. So anyway, that is all I have to say about that. I want to leave you with one last piece of information. I started listening to this podcast, and his opening I thought was spot on. So I am going to play just a few minutes of this opening for you guys. I can't play too much of it because I would probably get a copyright strike, but I'll just play a few minutes, and then I will leave a link to this podcast in the descriptions below so you guys can see it for yourself. Okay. Thanks for joining me this morning at the Granite Files, where we are investigating everything relating to water fluoridation. Make sure that you leave a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share this with others. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Episode of the Dr. Kumar Discovery. Fluoride is something most of us never think about. It's in the water that comes out of your tap. In the United States, it's the only medication that is delivered to the population without their consent. Fluoride is, at this point, an uninformed mass medication of the American population. The science behind putting fluoride in the water has been seriously questioned, and a federal court has ruled that the currently allowable level of fluoride in water poses an unreasonable risk to children's brains.
All right, guys, so that's all I'm going to play. I will leave a link in the description below. I will see you next time on the Granite Files.